All right, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Start the day off with some coffee. That's typically how it goes. And in case you're wondering, because you're probably not, you saw the title of this video, I'm gonna show you how to make the perfect, appropriate, best way to make a bowl of cereal. I've recently been getting really into making food, cooking dinner. I'm trying to get more into baking things, but for the sake of this video, because I haven't put out an actual YouTube video in forever, I figured I'd just start small and simple. And what is more simple than a bowl of cereal? I don't know, maybe a glass of water, right? So realistically, you're only gonna need 2 utensils. Does a bowl count as a utensil? I don't think it does. You're gonna need a bowl and a spoon. 1 utensil. We had guests over yesterday, actually just Lauren and her 2 kids. So we had 4 kids running around this whole house yesterday. It was pretty wild. They just don't care. They don't care. They get everything dirty. They get into anything and everything. And look, it's fine. It's just what it is. I mean, we've got 2 small kids. We understand. And I'm not bleeding or anything, like bleeding white. Why would you think that? We were painting yesterday, and my daughter, by the way, Zoe, painted this beautiful piece of work. It's a pumpkin. So clearly it's about to be October. We're getting into the spirit of things around here. It's going to be Halloween. And yeah, I've just got paint all over me. I tried to clean off as much as I could, but I kind of failed at that. Now, cereal has been a part of my life, since I was a kid, born. I wouldn't be surprised if my mom and dad gave me cereal when I was just a baby. I mean, that's probably not the right thing to do with no teeth. They probably didn't do that. But cereal has been a part of most people's lives, which is kind of the way. Let me make sure this mic is plugged. But cereal, for the most part, has been a part of all of our lives. Whenever I think of cereal, I think of my dad. My dad's favorite cereals was always something chocolate. The Cocoa Pebbles with like the Fred Flintstone on the front, and Cocoa Puffs. Cocoa Puffs they're like little balls of chocolate, and the box always has like this cuckoo bird whose name is Coco. And those commercials are definitely aimed at kids, man. Those companies, they're trying to get our kids to live off of cereal. Kellogg's actually had an incident recently where they were promoting breakfast for dinner. And I don't think it was malicious what they were intending to do. However, it definitely didn't come off the right way, and a lot of people got upset with Kellogg's, and they wanted to boycott Kellogg's. But the problem with that is Kellogg's does not just make cereal. Kellogg's makes almost everything that we buy and eat, which should be illegal, right? There's got to be like a monopoly. That's got to be a monopoly. Oh, that's good. I drink my coffee black, by the way. I do use creamer at times, but I'm currently trying to cut this down. So I'm trying not to eat or drink much creamer, much sugar with anything. Says the guy who's making a cereal video. Pick your choice of cereal. I've got 2 here. The one that reminds me of my dad, Cocoa Pebbles, and Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms is Zoe's favorite currently because it has marshmallows. Zoe Rose is a big fan of marshmallows. I cannot let her see marshmallows. Lucky Charms, what she'll do is she'll just pick out the marshmallows and she won't even eat the cereal. I'll pour her a nice, beautiful bowl and she just starts plucking out the cereal plucking out the marshmallows because that's just what she wants to do. I've got some whole milk here. Sprouts and Whole Foods, they make this cream top milk, and it is the best thing I've ever had. Cream top milk, if you've never had it, is delicious. You got to shake the bottle because it gets clumpy, right? Not because it's bad milk. I don't know how they make it, but it's so damn delicious. I personally am a big fan of milk, and I pour a glass and I'll just drink it. It tastes so good. It tastes so good. I didn't go to Sprouts though, so I couldn't pick up a bottle of that stuff. So I had to settle for some regular whole milk, which is gonna do the job if you're just making a bowl of cereal, so we're good. And as I was saying earlier, there's 3 ways to make a bowl of cereal. There's the low cereal to high milk ratio. So that's probably like a 1 to 2. And the reason why you would do that, why most people would do that, is because they're literally just using the cereal to flavor their milk. So they pour in just like a quarter amount of cereal, and then they fill up half the bowl with milk. And what they'll do is they'll probably eat the cereal, but more or less, once that milk starts getting the flavor from the cereal, like if you pour milk into a bowl of Cocoa Pebbles, that milk is going to turn into chocolate milk, and that's delicious. So I can see why people do that. I don't do that personally because I like to enjoy my cereal and my milk, so I don't do the 1 to 2 ratio. The next is going to be the half to half, which is basically you pour the same amount of milk as you do your cereal. I don't really do that either, and I'll explain why in a moment. But people do that because they want their cereal crunchy, but they also want the benefit of the milk. So each spoonful of cereal, you're going to get some cereal and you're going to get some milk. But that cereal, for the most part, is going to be crunchy because even though you're pouring a half to half ratio, the milk is still going to sit below the cereal, leaving the top half of that cereal crunchy. And some people like their cereal crunchy. I go the third route, which is to me the best. It's the 2 to 1 ratio. You fill your bowl about halfway with cereal, which I'm going to show you, and then about a quarter of the ways with milk. And I love that because what happens is the milk is low on the bottom. So what you're able to do is you're able to go in, pick up a spoon of the milk, and you're able to top it over the top of the cereal. And I'll show you. For the sake of being easy to see, we're gonna go with Lucky Charms here. Now, pardon my setup. This is not a good setup at all for cooking or anything like that. This is temporary, okay? I might make a few videos like this, but it won't be forever. Okay, so we're gonna go about half the bowl of cereal, right? Oop, I got a stray marshmallow, throw it in there. And then grab your milk, whatever milk you prefer. I prefer whole milk, that's what we have. And we're gonna go at about a quarter into the bowl, okay? Now, you can't really see the milk. You can see the cereal still, but the milk is right underneath. And now I like this because what I like to do personally is I like to dip my cereal into the milk. So what that does is it makes the cereal on top slightly less crunchy. And I'll sometimes do that. And now the reason why this is great is because the cereal sitting on top, it's got milk on it, and it's not constantly being soaked by the milk on the bottom. So it doesn't get too soft or too soggy. It's perfect. So that is definitely the perfect way to pour your bowl of cereal. This lighting is so bad. Okay, so there's plenty of natural light that can come into this kitchen. But the problem is that I'm shooting early. It's about 7:40 right now, and the time change is about to happen. So it doesn't really get bright until 8 a.m. And the reason why I'm shooting so early is because I'm trying to make these videos before my kids wake up. Because once they wake up, it becomes a lot harder to make a video. But eventually that's just what it's gonna be. They're gonna have to be in here sometimes and making a mess of things. And you know, I'm not gonna eat this right now because I got the mic on. You're gonna just hear me crunch and nobody wants that. But that is how you make cereal. And look, I'm gonna be making more videos. This has gotta be one of the worst cooking videos I've ever made because it's just so damn basic and so bare. But I gotta start somewhere. I took a hiatus on making YouTube videos. I've been doing mostly shorts, Instagram videos. I'll do some TikTok stuff here. But I really want to get back into making YouTube videos because that to me is just so fun. I have such a good time making videos. I was a videographer for a few years, starting in 2015, back in California. In California, there's tons of work. If you know how to make videos and know how to edit videos, there is a ton of work for you. So we moved to Texas, and it's not the same out here. So there's not many people looking for videographers. People need help with like weddings, baby showers, family events, things like that. But that's not really something I want to get into. I don't want to get into wedding photography or videography. It's not a bad thing. It's just there's a lot of pressure, a lot of time constraints, and it's just not my cup of tea. So I needed to figure out a way on how can I make videos without taken time away from my family without leaving my family for days on end, without having to sit on the computer and spending a whole week editing videos. I really wanted to figure out how can I balance everything. And it turns out that cooking has been the perfect balance for me because I'm doing multiple things at once. I'm making the videos that I've been wanting to make because I just like making stuff. I get to see my family and I get to learn how to cook and I get to try new recipes. And if it's great, then that's great. It becomes a staple in the house. There's a few recipes that I've made already 4 or 5 times because they've just been so damn good. And starting with something so simple and easy as, again, making a bowl of cereal is exactly what I needed to do so that way I can get back into the rhythm of making more videos, longer form videos for YouTube. That's just, these things are so, if you've never made a video yourself, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work in everything that you watch on YouTube. A lot of work is put into that stuff. And it's to me, it's just so fun, especially when it's something that I want to do. And I think that actually ties into why I'm not a big fan of like wedding videography and family stuff and being hired for other people, because it's not really stuff that I want to do. I'm helping other people with their things, which is great, right? You're becoming a person of value, but what am I doing for myself, really? And to me, this is doing something for myself because I get to post it on my own channel. I get to talk about the things that I want to talk about. I get to just be myself, which is probably the most important thing anybody can do, is just be yourself. And for me, cooking for my family, making cooking videos, making not family vlogs, but vlogs about us doing things. Like there's a trip to Disneyland we went on. I got to put that vlog together. And that genuinely brings me joy. If you are a joyless person, or if you're having trouble getting up in the morning, or if you just feel lost, right? If you feel lost, it's because you have not found the meaning of your life here. You haven't found purpose for yourself. And purpose is the best thing anybody can find for themselves. Because when you find your purpose, or when you have a purpose, you have reasons to do things. You have motivation to get up, to help others, to help yourself, to do certain things. If you have purpose, then your life becomes meaningful. So if you don't know what you're doing, if you wake up every day and you're lost, you're confused, then you have to just start figuring things out. And the only way to start figuring things out is by doing things. Look at the videos that you're watching. Are you watching cooking videos? Are you watching videos on how to build a car, how to build a computer, videos on people vlogging their lives? And maybe you should try that and try doing these things. You don't have to necessarily make videos, but try doing those things. If you're into building cars, start looking into how can you build a car. You don't have to video it. You can just research. How can I build a car? You start with the bare minimum of just looking into the motor, what makes it. And I can just go on, and there's so many things. A lot of people find their purpose in fitness and exercise because it's inspiring. Okay, I'm gonna just stop right here because I can go on all day. That was how to make a bowl of cereal. Guys, I'm gonna enjoy this. I will talk to you later.